You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right? Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society. Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't. I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey. Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you. Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife, and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Then I'm not talking to you. I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already. Or drop the blade. Do something. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
Don't just tell her that.
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous? Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Too long. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one. You charge the princess, blade trembling in your hand, but you've already lost the battle. She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
We shouldn't have hesitated.
But she doesn't stop there. She kicks you a few times for good measure, the pointed tip of her shoes feeling like a pickaxe against your fracturing bones, making sure you stay down. As you lie, crushed and broken on the basement floor, the princess kneels on your throat with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess. As you gasp for air, she eyes you with an intense curiosity. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She applies more pressure, slowly squeezing what's left of your life out of your lungs.
This is the end, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. It hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again.
She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Of course we died. We couldn't land a single blow on her, and she broke every bone in our body before she decided to let us die.
What were we supposed to do to stop her then? What are we supposed to do to stop her now?
It's pointless.
She's just a princess. Slaying her shouldn't have been difficult, but congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess killed us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
Just because she's capable of ending the world doesn't mean you're not capable of slaying her. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So chin up. I believe in you. Just be quick about it. people locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
We're not. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending that we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic.
You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps. But it's just the way things are.
Oh, I didn't know we were special.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Who cares if you think we're special? As far as I can tell, the only thing special about us is that we get to experience painfully dying all over again.
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. The less you know about her, the better. Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying? Cheating? Why would she even bother? She didn't need to do anything like that last time. She caught us off guard last time. We'll be fine. Let's just keep our wits about us.
At least one of you still has a shred of sense. Just make sure you listen to him and not that whiner.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small?
We don't feel small. We are small.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the altar, the blade sitting on the altar, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Who cares if there's a mirror? We're all going to die anyway, and I'm sure that if we looked in there, we'd just see something sad and miserable looking back at us. We don't need any reminders of what we are. It would only make things worse.
For the last time, you're not going to die unless you let it happen. And luckily for you, there isn't a mirror, so no one needs to worry about confronting a grisly visage any time in the near future. Though, for what it's worth, if there were a mirror, I'm sure that you wouldn't find anything sad or miserable in it looking back at you. You probably look perfectly normal. Probably. Do you not know what we look like?
He knows. He just doesn't have the heart to tell us. As do I. And yeah, there is.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase, its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
This is actually kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall.
The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
As if on command, the blade slips from your grasp. It clatters uselessly to the floor. But we didn't drop it. We decided to grip it tighter, remember? Are you really just going to let that happen to us? I have a duty to report facts as facts, and the fact is that you dropped the blade.
Of course we dropped it. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her, and if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? Then you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird. There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet. I say, perhaps you need another lesson in submitting to your betters. Pick up that needle.
Do it. It's what she wants. No objections here. I don't know what she's planning, and I don't like that we don't know what she's planning, but we might as well pick up the blade. As your eye falls on the blade, you feel a weight. Some divine hand that sits unperceived by your senses, but that manages to push you towards its desires like an unseen puppeteer. You reach forward and grasp the blade.
Stand!
This one's easy. See? This isn't so bad. Okay, yeah. We can do that. We were probably going to stand anyway. You can feel a creaking tension between body and will as you slowly rise to your feet, like two foes forced into an unhappy truce. The princess eyes you with soft contemplation. The moment seems to last a lifetime, the silent anticipation of what's to come dragging out the long, painful seconds. But all silences are broken eventually.
To define me is to claim we stand on level ground. We do not. You are quiet shadow, while I am brilliant radiance. Take that knife in your hand and slit your throat.
What? You don't have to listen to her. You're armed. Just steel your nerves, step forward, and end this. Oh, we'll end this all right. Your hand lifts the blade and brings it towards your throat. Okay, I apologize for the unclear language. End her. No, you can't just slay yourself. You're perfectly healthy and capable, and all you have to do is ignore her and do what has to be done. The blade and the hand that wields it remain firmly locked in place until you change your mind and decide to do literally anything else.
Look at you quaking against my will. An ant defying a god. It's pointless to resist. In the end, everything submits to oblivion. But you're not the one resisting me, are you? There's something else in there. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
You bring the blade to your neck. You slice through soft flesh, severing veins and arteries, your blood flowing freely down your body. It's a painful lesson in obedience, but the pain won't last forever. No.
When I see you again, you'll free me from my chains and deliver me to the destiny that lies beyond this place.
We will. I promise.
I know you will.
Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path... Oh, let me guess, and at the end of the path is a cabin! Excuse me? Come on, man. We can see it right in front of us. And besides, we've been here 5 times already? I think this is 3. Who cares? The woods are always the worst part anyway. Nothing ever happens in them. I care. Every single time you've been here, it means an entire other reality has been damned to oblivion. One reality is already an incalculable loss. And there is a massive difference between 3 and 5. Feels like the numbers getting thrown around here are too big not to be abstract. Numbers like 5. Numbers like entire realities. At the end of the day, it's all just silly, isn't it? None of us can count to a whole reality, and he's asking us to think about the difference between 3 and 5. You're already starting to lose the thread. Just because you can't personally sum up the contents of an entire reality doesn't mean that the people inhabiting it don't contain moral value. If you have any sense of ethics left in there, if you have any moral compass, please, you have to stop her. Don't you get it? Might makes right, and she didn't even have to touch us last time to prove her power. So what? Just because she made us kill ourselves, we're supposed to submit to her authority without question? I knew when to surrender to our better. You would have lost eventually anyway, and it would only have made her angry. It would only have made things worse for all of us. Oh, for the love of... Can you all please just get on with it? You're not making this any easier for yourselves. Do we even have agency right now? We either do what she wants, or we do what he wants. Either way, we're listening to somebody. Please, nothing in life is a binary. Obviously, we find a third choice that nobody wants. You all talk about choices and freedom, but there is no choice when it comes to the will of a god. I'm going to cut you off right there. She is not a god, and the more times you fail, the harder it becomes for you to succeed. But the fact that you're still here means you still have a chance to pull this off. So, princess, dangerous, cabin, slay now. And right now you have neither the time nor the mental acuity to handle a single response. It's now or never. As you finish your inane question, the ground quakes beneath your feet. You feel an unyielding force pulling at you and your surroundings. The trees start to sway and then crumble, breaking apart as everything is drawn towards the cabin. Even the earth beneath you seems to shift, your feet unable to grip solid ground as you're dragged forward along with everything else.
The end of everything. The beginning of something new. The moment we open that door, she will be free.
Any, words of warning? You already know everything you need to know. As you step forward, the cabin explodes. Flung backwards, violently slam into a tree as debris rains down around you. You watch in paralyzed awe and terror as the princess emerges, her body unfurling from some vast space as she stands upright to face you. The world bows to her. The ruined landscape shifts, trees and stone and the ground itself succumbing to her gravity, orbiting her like a great black hole.
Finally, the little bird has set me free. This is always how it was going to end, and this is always how it was going to begin.
There's a loud thunk from the tree behind you as something embeds in its shattered bark. Your pristine blade. It's now or never. With a grim determination, you yank the blade from the trunk. Yeah, this feels right. She doesn't get to just smugly stand over us like we don't matter. Let's take her down a peg.
You're not going to win. You know that, right? What are you going to do with that tiny blade? Give her a scratch?
Even if that's all we manage, I'd rather go down swinging. See how everything's floating around her? I bet we could make it if we just jumped really hard. You gather yourself, closing your eyes and shutting out the towering vision of the princess. There is only her and you. That's all there ever was. It's time to face her. You launch yourself towards the princess. The pull of her gravity catches you, carrying you across the ground into the violent swirl of her orbit.
Such defiance even now. Do it then. Show me what you think it takes to end that which is destined to end everything.
Don't you see how hopeless this is? She fears nothing.
That's right, she doesn't. So she has no idea what she's in for. With a heavy thump, you land on her chest. It's now or never. We've come this far. Let's take it home. You strike, but her skin is like steel. Though you stab at her again and again, the wounds are superficial, mere etchings in a sprawling surface.
You see? It was always pointless. All this has done is bring us close to her. And how beautiful it is to be so close.
It's not pointless, it can't be. We wouldn't be here if there wasn't some hope we could succeed.
Is that all?
The princess plucks you from her chest, pinching the scruff of your neck delicately between two fingers as she brings you to eye level.
I forgive you your transgressions, but my destiny is inescapable.
She thinks she's so much better than us. There has to be something else we can do. We're not going out like this.
He offered us forgiveness. You would turn down such an incredible gift. You would turn away from her glory for something as petty as pride.
Yes! Yes! Let's give her something to remember us by. You concentrate your will to a fine point and hurl your blade at the princess's eye. It flies through the night sky and then nothing.
She could never be harmed by...
It pierces her cornea. She howls, recoiling in pain, and you fall from her distracted hand. You hit the ground with a painful thud. She narrowly misses you as she comes crashing down to her knees.
So I've misread you. You are not the willful key that will turn the lock of my liberation. You are an enemy to be smitten by my hand.
The princess holds up her monumental hand, its glowing palm radiating a blinding light. It grows and grows until it's all you can see. And then you erupt, your very soul mere kindling to her light. The inferno incinerates everything that is you. And with it... No, that's not right. Why is it hot? I'm not supposed to be able to feel anything. Oh no. Oh no.
You leave me no other choice. Suffer for the crime you have committed against my divine body. Damnation will purify us both. It's cold now, and I feel small. I thought I was everything. But I'm no better than you, am I?
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more. I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one sits at the cusp of awakening, a new god waiting to be born. She will make for a terrifying and divine heart. Do not mourn her, for she has finally found her light. How can the world have ended if we are talking? You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. I know only that they are. She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends? Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home. Everything, until we meet again. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die. Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. You make your way up the shore. You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing... Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the base. You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over? It's over. You could check her sleeves if you want, but I can assure you that there's nothing hidden up there. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that. Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy. This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just going to stay here forever, right? I do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare. How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense, we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore? This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy. Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the base, you're here to slay her. I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart... A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. She won't be. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odour of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the blade is your implement. It feels like no one's been here for... Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly it's not even important enough to be acknowledged. The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here, naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? A ghost! Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks fragile enough to me.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore. So, does that mean you regret what you've done? Are you here to apologize and make nice? Beg for absolution, maybe? Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging. You poor thing. That must have been so frightening for you.
You know, after everything we've been through, it's nice to see someone finally sympathising with us. This whole thing's been an ordeal, hasn't it? She doesn't mean it.
It serves you right.
I was pretty scared too, when you stood there not saying a word with a knife clenched in your fist. But now you know how bad it hurts to get stabbed in the chest.
It sounds like you got exactly what you were owed.
Yes, obviously things are strange right now. I think it's safe to say that you've seen something you shouldn't have seen. Whatever worlds you've hopped between, whatever versions of me you've met, none of that matters now. There's no changing what's already happened, but you have a job to finish. Finish how? We already did what you told us, and now she's a ghost. There's a perfectly pristine blade waiting for you upstairs. You could always use it to, I don't No! Slay her.
And then what?
And then you'll have saved the world. I think he's asking about what happens after we save the world. If that's even still an option. What do you mean, after?
You already know what we mean, don't you? So why don't you go ahead and tell us? Are you going to try and lock us away in a timeless void again? Because I didn't much care for that.
I'm not going to lock you anywhere.
What an interesting choice of emphasis.
I don't feel very bad, but I guess I'm not dead. So you must have only mostly killed me. Or maybe death is only mostly real, but it's also mostly not real. I'm not sure. I'm just the one these things have happened to, not the one with all the answers, or any of the answers.
But we're not a ghost. Unless we are? Maybe that's why the mirror disappeared. We're actually dead.
Death, at least as a form of permanence, is just a concept. And clearly it's not a very useful one anymore. Maybe we should throw it out entirely.
The princess glances back at the bones lying on the floor.
It's just a body. Do you believe these bones? Or do you believe me? Because those bones aren't talking to you.
She's seeing things pragmatically. We should do the same. Reality is what's in front of us, not our preconceptions of what it should be. There doesn't need to be a static truth. There doesn't need to be objectivity.
You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you owe me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it?
Now isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
Then I won't hit your rod. If I'm able to, but for all we know, that's not how it works. Maybe I'll wind up stuck with you for a long, 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 long time.
Don't much like the sound of that. It's crowded enough in here as is. It could be the best way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside someone else's body. That is a very dangerous train of thought.
Sure, why not?
That doesn't sound very reassuring. I can't believe you're even entertaining her right now. I mean, just look at her. Do you think she has good intentions for her murderer's body? Of course she doesn't.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She is right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business. Maybe I'll find someone to haunt. Maybe I'll haunt you. It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoving.
Especially when that someone is dead.
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want? The only thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
It does. We're not asking you. We've heard your whole speech already.
I really don't know. I'm not lying to you. I promise. The world doesn't matter. All I remember is that I'm supposed to be there, not here. I'm just supposed to be a part of it. It's home, I think. But what does it mean for anything to end? I ended, but I also didn't. And you ended too. But here you are. And you don't even look any different. I'm not so sure endings are real. How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper. A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And if I knew you were going to murder me without even knowing who I was, I wouldn't have given you the chance.
We all make mistakes.
Well, yeah, you brought a knife with you. Was I supposed to just welcome you with open arms when you obviously had stabbing on the mind? It could have, but it wasn't. You can't blame me for threatening a would-be knife-wielding murderer, especially when that would-be knife-wielding murderer became an actual knife-wielding murderer.
A boring question with an easy answer. Nothing. She's a ghost. Ghosts can't hurt us.
That's for me to know, and for you to wonder about. Maybe I can't do anything to you.
See?
Or maybe I can rip your heart out.
Who's to say, really?
I don't like the uncertainty here. I don't know what to do or who to trust.
I wish that's how it worked, but this place won't let me go.
We could always try violence. It's worked for us so far.
She's a ghost.
Who says ghosts are immune to violence?
Common sense?
There's nothing common or sensible about common sense. Action and observation are the only things that matter.
Fine, then let me observe that the acts of killing her and killing ourselves haven't got us much of anywhere. We're still back in this cabin, we're still dealing with her, only now she has a good reason to hate us.
I suppose you have a point. Do you have any ideas then?
I don't know. Maybe we do what she wants. Maybe we let her possess us and walk out of here.
We could. It would be something different. I like different.
Absolutely not. If you walk her out of here, she's going to end the world.
And is that really so bad?
Yes, it is by its very definition bad.
But those are the only options, aren't they? Violence or doing what she wants. Or just leaving her down here. Though ignoring a problem is rarely a solution, is it?
Too little, too late. But you can still make things right.
She's not in a position to bargain with us. You don't have to do anything you don't want to.
We don't have to do anything, but maybe we should. We did kill her. Wouldn't it be the moral thing to help her now that we have another chance? When a hero slays a monster, does he apologise to it? No. So don't try to make things right. She was going to end the world. You didn't do anything wrong, aside from apparently killing yourself, and that doesn't have much to do with her.
Oh, is that how it is? That's sad. I guess we'll have to fight then.
The princess passes through you, a chill rippling along your skin, a disappointed sigh echoing in your ears. You turn and face her as she hovers between you and the stairs.
Spectral tears streak down her cheeks as she places a translucent hand on your chest. It feels cold, but otherwise like nothing at all.
Are we doing the right thing? Why do I feel so sad?
Don't let her get to you. It doesn't matter. Somehow, soon, this too will be over, and we'll move on to something new. I feel like you all keep forgetting that. Her dark-rimmed eyes fall to the floor as she speaks.
I never wanted to have to hurt anybody. It's not who I wanted to be.
The tears on her cheeks vanish. She lifts her head, sorrow replaced with wrath, staring into you with fiery anger.
But I guess you've turned me into something worse.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then... Yes? Nothing happens.
Are you sure about that? Something should have happened.
And yet it didn't. We're fine.
Not yet, but let's see if you stay that way.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it is. The horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue, an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed, starting with your body. If you won't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
She's real now. Pity we don't have a weapon. Your last moments are spent a helpless witness as she rips her hand from your chest, holding your still beating heart in her clenched fist.
But that's ours.
See you soon, killer.
She crushes it, blood and ruined vascular tissue leaking from between her fingers, dribbling unceremoniously to the floor. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the wood, and here we go again. Off to slay her. Again. The deck's stacked, isn't it? We kill her, we start again. She kills us as a goddamn ghost, we start again. I'm starting to think we're being run in circles just for the sake of it. Come on, let's not give in to all that misery just yet. There's got to be a way out of this. There's got to be a right answer. And what if there isn't? Aren't you listening to me? What if all of this was rigged from the start? That's ridiculous. There'd be no point in all this if it was just some kind of cosmic busy work. I think that's exactly what it is. The powers that be seeing how many ways they can screw with us. Could be it's all some kind of sick joke to them. Okay, so you've already been here. Twice even. Great. Then let me poke a few holes in your depressing little theory. Nobody here is screwing with you, and I can't imagine any scenario where you would have started over after slaying the princess. Well, we didn't have to start over. We killed ourselves. And why, pray tell, did you do that? Because you decided to foist an infinite tedium on us. That doesn't sound like me. If I'd had everything my way, you would have effortlessly slain the princess, saved the world, and been given your happy ending. The ending was the tedium. You locked us in a cabin and sent that cabin to an endless void, and then you told us we were happy. Well, were you happy? Of course we weren't happy. That's why we killed ourselves. It was awful. Yes, and then she killed us. Even though she was already dead. This is all fake. Okay, let's try to get back on track. You're real. The princess is real. The world is real. The people in the world are real. And the danger she poses to all of them is also, quite unfortunately, real. Whatever you did the first time, it sounds like it almost worked. So how about you give it one last try? because killing yourself seemed to undo all the good you almost managed to accomplish. All this standing around and talking is boring. Let's at least do something. Maybe we'll kill her again. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll even free her. If I had to make a wager, I'd say yes and no. That's a hedge, not a wager. I haven't met you, but you've clearly met me. It sounds to me like you're hopping between parallel realities, in which case the me you just met here is the same collection of experiences as the me you met at all of those other beginnings, but their continuity breaks the moment you say or do anything, in effect making them all separate. So, yes, I'm the same me, but ever since the moment we started talking, I'm different. I'm not sure how we're supposed to kill him ourselves, but he's asking for it. Maybe there's some way she can take care of him for us. They've clearly all been through some harrowing experiences. Don't let their baggage influence your decisions. You have the ability to see things clearly. I suggest you use it. Tell you what, I won't do that. I promise. Oh yeah, sure, that changes everything. I mean, he did promise. And you believed him? Then she finds a way out on her own. Ugh, of course she does. So, standing around out here is the same as us letting her out. Only we don't have to see her. That's gotta be better, right? No, it's strictly worse. But she can't kill us out here. Why would staying out of killing distance be worse if she's getting out regardless? Because it's cowardly, for starters, and because the unknown is always worse than the known. But really, all you're doing right now is weighing two considerably bad options. The only solution worth considering is slaying her, and whatever delusion is holding you back from doing that is just that, a delusion. If you already managed to end her in some other world, the only reason you'd be here is that you somehow managed to do it wrong. More rules, more rhetoric. Since when is there a wrong way to slay her? I'm sick of it. Makes me want to end the world out of spite. You continue down the path towards the cabin. It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination. I don't think you need any words of warning. I think you know what's in there, and despite your protestations, I think you know what you need to do. The more he talks, the more I'm interested in setting her free. Whatever. You don't want to listen to me? Do it then. Let her out. See what I care. It sounds like somebody's about to crack. There's obviously no point in trying to reason with you right now, especially with all these clowns offering up their useless advice. Honestly, it seems like the more I try and talk sense into you, the more single-minded they get about letting her out. So yes, I'm done trying to argue. Would you look at that? We won. Take it however you will. The interior of the cabin is long and dark, a single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. Curtains billow out from tall windows on either side, obscuring the path forward, fluttering helplessly as opposing gusts of wind rush into the building, clashing and joining and driving everything forward. The only furniture of note is... that's strange. What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What's strange is that there isn't much of anything in here at all, aside from the curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Great. Something else has been taken away from us. I suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. Blade or not, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you're asking what's at the end of the hallway, it's the way to the basement. The way to the basement? Don't you mean door? No, I didn't say door, because there isn't a door, it's just an opening. What are the odds she's waiting for us right behind it? If I were running a bullshit factory, it's what I'd do. Let me assure you that there's nothing there. Nothing is going to jump out at you, and certainly not the princess. The princess is in the basement. He can't see the mirror, the knife is gone, defying his expectations. Who the hell is calling the shots here? Nobody is calling the shots, that's how reality works. You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation, the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. We've always been watched. You're watching us right now. Sometimes the feeling is just stronger than others. I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation, we just need this to be over. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of whatever mirror isn't actually there. Here we go. You reach your arm forward into the pitch black of the opening. Nothing. It's like this place read our mind just to mess with us.
What you looking at, killer? Staring into the void? Thinking about what it'd be like to die again? I know exactly how you feel.
Shit, where is she? You feel something long and frigid coil around your ankle. Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. And then it, she, the princess, constricts. Your bones snap. Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse, and you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess. Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice, her grin carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long and crooked teeth.
But do you know how I feel? I gave you a path to forgiveness. I gave you a chance to make things right. I thought maybe you'd seen what you've done and feel remorseful. Maybe try to make it up to me. But no, you'd rather use that knife to keep making the same mistake over and over and over. So, here's how this is going to go. I'm going to take your body, and I'm going to walk it out of here. And you get to watch me do it. Completely helpless, just like you left me.
I say we let her do it. It's something different. Do we even have a choice? You always have a choice. Maybe before, but not now. There isn't a blade this time. Exactly. What choice is there if there isn't a blade? Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one that counts.
You think that's even? How adorable. But I think you forgot about the part where you tried killing me again. If I were you, I would just want to get it over with. You lost your chance to call the shots. There's no going back to fix it now. You can either look on in horror or celebrate my freedom. But either way, you're about to become a passenger. But you did hurt me. Twice even. And I'm not letting you do it again. Enough talking. We'll have plenty of time for chit-chat once this place is far behind us.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. Her proportions all wrong, limbs bent and curling, moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her torso stretches until her face is practically touching yours, her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle. Are you sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, I thought you all wanted to free the princess. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too. And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon here? Yours, I assume. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Whatever you did in those previous lives of yours, you really messed up. Are you seriously trying to blame this on us? Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul. You're awake, eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing. You feel wrong. It's so cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out. I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support. There's another option, you know.
Oh, and what's that?
Don't help either of them. Flip the table.
And how can you do that? You don't have a will to wield. Your soul is in brain of courage.
That gap where the mirror was, I don't think it goes anywhere. Let's throw ourselves into the abyss.
You wouldn't dare. Move now.
Your body, still slumped against the wall, trapped between the princess's overwhelming will and the blinding pain of your splintered ankle, takes an excruciating step towards the cabin door. The movement is stiff, your body reduced to a marionette, pulled reluctantly along by your strings.
It's not that bad. The pain feels good. Because I know you feel it too.
In a single moment of overwhelming willpower, you tear your body from the wall and hurl it towards the gaping abyss.
I won't let you do this.
Capillaries burst and muscle fibers tear as you and the princess struggle over the reins of your body. One foot planted firmly on the edge where the floor ends, and the nothing begins. It's unquestionable that her reserves are greater than yours, but fortunately for you, the distance you have to cover is far shorter. Enough is enough. I'm tired of us always losing. It's just a step away.
Even if you throw yourself into the abyss, you still lose.
You throw everything you have against her and manage, for one brief moment, to overpower the princess's hold on your body. But that moment was all you needed. Your foot slips a few inches, and you collapse forward, the darkness swallowing you whole.
Why do you hate me?
Her thought slips through you, unheeded, as you fall, and fall, and fall. What an end. But at least it's ours. An empire of frigid nothing. I don't think this qualifies as saving the world, but at least you didn't ruin it. What happens now?
What do you mean what happens now? You wanted this.
but I want to know what he thinks happens now.
I'll be here when you find that out.
Oh? And why is that?
You should be better tending to your head. You left. Go on. It's just you and you and you and me. Idiot.
He's gone. But...
What's happening to me?
she's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? I would have kept them in the dark if I were you. What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. So you're the real puppet master here? Can't believe I tried to help you.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same. I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between. Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. if I am to be an ocean, you have given me enough to build a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. I will transcend in due time, and there is no way forward but to contribute to my awakening. My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now. I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
You're on a path. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going? There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it.
Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever. When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And, last I checked, you're part of everyone too, so if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. Last I checked, there wasn't any last time. We've just met, you and I.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
I don't know, I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience. The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off.
The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky.
The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead. You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning. Before you go, she will lie. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it.
Let's keep an open mind.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, and when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, you've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall, and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby.
I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
And what's that?
That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day. You step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet, the impact of each step sending pulsing vibrations up your legs, until there's nothing left in them to feel. The air around you grows cold the further you progress. At first a barely noticeable drop, quickly evolving into a numbing cold. Your toes feel like blocks of ice, your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor. You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
What, like you need me to hold your hand and tell you everything's okay? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here, and you need to do it now. Ooh, new plan! Let's see if we can make even more of her. Wait, that's not right. Go on. Take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing. Okay. If you say so, we'll trust you. You're not messing with us, right?
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As easily as you can stand to be you, you are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It will, in time. But you still have a ways to go before we are done. Know that I hold no malice for you. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. Do not worry. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
You're on a path. That's the spirit. You make your way up the shore. You take the blade from you're still listening to reason. You step forward. You lunge. It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking? You lean down and place your hand against her neck, holding your breath as you search for a pulse, even though you know you're not going to find one. We definitely won't if you keep talking. I'm sorry, do you want her to be alive? You just saved the entire world from annihilation. Why are you suddenly trying to call that into question? Wait, what was that? You know what that was. That was the sound of a heartbeat, followed by another, and another.
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Something sharp digs into your side, the shock of it sending your nerves into a pained frenzy. Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you. For whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy, but after we sank our blade into her heart, she just got up and started stabbing us.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine. A warning before you go any further. She will lie.
He couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the base. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. You reach forward and there was a mirror.
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
You take the blade from the table.
It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it.
That's right, scraping. I told you she has something, I told you.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right? But if we killed each other, then why are we here, right now? Both of us normal and unstabbed.
I do have to hand it to her, that's a very good question, and it's one with a simple answer. You haven't slain her yet. So how about you get moving?
Last time? What are you talking about?
Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth.
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right? Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
What? No, I wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to, not stabbing distance to help me.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
She certainly feels threatening. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it.
But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job.
But I'm nervous.
All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
Last time? If somebody came into my house and stabbed me to death and then I killed him, surely I would remember that. But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened. Would I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered happening didn't happen just so I could stab you again? I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
Aha! She slipped up there. She said again, and her taking it back doesn't count.
Do you hear how deranged you sound right now? Please stop dawdling. This is only going to end with violence.
Postponing the inevitable is only going to make it worse for you when it actually happens.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're different from you. How would you like it if I did that, huh? Silly little bird-face thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he can tell me to get rid of all the knives I don't even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me. I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine, and will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I see. I have an idea. You should come over here and stare directly at the chains. You won't be able to find a key if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, so you better come right within close staring distance just to be sure.
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death. The princess falls silent, her smile unwavering as you charge across the room. Okay, she hasn't pulled out a knife yet, and her hands are still behind her back. I think we can do this. I think we can win. We just have to strike now, but make sure you keep your eyes on those hands. I don't trust her for a second. But your focus is broken by the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers, at first. Then yours.
Hehe.
How? What did she even hit us with? You stare down at your chest and at the long, thin blade she impaled you with. And then the red, angry slit along the flesh of her thigh, where the blade had been nestled just a moment ago. It's still lodged in her leg, emerging from her knee, hinging up and out of her body like some extra metallic limb. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
You're going to die now.
With a twist of her knee and a painful squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the woods. No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
I feel dizzy.
Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight.
Good. It's better that way. Without a fight, no one can win, and if no one can win, then nothing has any meaning.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times? This is our third? No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right? That can't be right, that's too much responsibility.
Nah, impossibly high stakes make the fight so much better.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table, a pristine blade perched. We take it. Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp.
That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually.
We will win eventually. Hell, we might even win now.
That's a fighting spirit I like to see. You could all learn a thing or two from this one. I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? You walk through the door. You do know what doors are, right? But there isn't a door, it's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
If it's in our way, let's just break it and move on.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it. Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess. You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone. How surprising.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
Let's just get to the princess already. I didn't care about the mirror before, and I care about it even less now.
Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's got another thing coming if she thinks we're going down easy again.
Pride makes us dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once.
Nothing bad has come of it yet.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered.
The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas. Yeah, that's right, we just have to think. There's probably an answer if we think.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you. Ow. What a surprise.
Yeah. We don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us.
Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you? I don't like that we died without us knowing it. This really, really blurs some lines that I prefer not to be blurred. Are we still dead? Are we alive again? How are we even supposed to know the difference? Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her. We don't need any other voices chattering about in here. It'll just confuse us. All we need is to keep fighting. Yeah, I'll pass on that.
As long as we keep moving.
Come on, show me something new.
Okay, plan now. Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps.
What's the point? It's all the same.
She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
Do you see that? We almost had her. That was luck. But we only have to get lucky once. Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman. She skewers you.
You're cute.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again. Just panic. Flee. She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one.
She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels.
She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad. Real tough.
We're getting close to something. Can't you feel it? One last time. Right. One last time. That's all we need. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason. She skewers you. And then everything goes dark, and you die. Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and we'll take it from here.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand.
Oh, what if we throw it out the window? Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman? Sure, I can think of a better way to die.
They're all the same, really.
How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time. Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover. Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only it's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along.
Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go, now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit! She's gorgeous.
Absolutely divine. Yes, behold, the perfect woman.
Do you think we can throw her out the window? That looked painful.
How is she still alive?
Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it. What just happened? It's so quiet.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different, like I should actually take this seriously for once. You're incredible.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. It doesn't matter if there are. People are frail and impermanent. You and I are the only things that interest me. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something, but nothing cannot exist on its own, and because of that, nothing can't exist. This one is a single-minded edge. She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make for a piercing heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. No, the point of awakening is to find out. No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path. Good. You're still listening to reason. The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around. Oh, have you decided what—
You know why you're— Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here. You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. A warning before you go in. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud?
No, I didn't. Wink.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner.
Yes, I'm sure.
Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay, I'm trusting you.
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion.
The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that.
Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I won't.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
That's ominous.
But she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing.
Oh please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros?
There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea, like, say, I don't know, doing your job and slaying her, you remain rigidly in place.
You tried this last time. Do you want to know how it went for you?
Oh, I remember. She killed us, which, by your estimation, ended the world, right?
Oh, Rory tried to take over, buddy.
Exactly. If I were you, I wouldn't be too keen on repeating your mistake. Hell, we could even force your hand and do it ourselves. I'm not afraid of dying again. Are you?
A little.
I think you got your point across. Fine. You
You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye contact as she reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly as she raises the blade to her throat. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck. No. Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, as she saws through skin, veins, cartilage. At last she reaches bone, the blade grinding audibly against her vertebra as it continues to slice its way through her neck. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. Why would she do that? Huh.
So that's her plan.
Killing herself?
She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment, her twitching eye the only movement in the room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half-wink. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder, and her neck opens. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally it falls to the floor, completely free. It bounces a few times before rolling to a stop at your feet. Oh no, oh no, oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back. The princess's eyes stare up at you, dead. Congratulations! You saved the world.
Huh. So I guess that's it. What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she?
I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that.
Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of a reason. She's left us with this dangling thread, and I need to know why.
You're just wasting your energy. The danger has passed, and now we can all relax and enjoy your reward.
Ugh, fine. You pick up the princess's severed head, its neck stump still oozing bodily fluids, then make your way back upstairs to the first floor of the cabin.
Did you see that? I could have sworn she moved.
She didn't. She's dead. But what if she's not? Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal? The door to your bountiful reward is right in front of you. All you have to do is open it. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is... Wait, no, that's not right.
Well played.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain myself before I had to watch it happen. It's already... over? Is he gone?
But we're still here. Maybe it wasn't the end of the world after all. Maybe it was just the end of his.
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I was right to trust you. So, this is the outside. Maybe it's just my lack of body, but it's colder than I expected.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now? This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
I think you know what I am. Because among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. And despite how far you've fallen, you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death. The narrator. Yes, I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all, an objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far. Oh, I'm nothing like you. I am an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me. You are you. And if you would let everything work the way it was supposed to, you never would have woken up to the reality of your true nature. There's no accounting for free will. Of course, that is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore. I do. The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that. Then ask them, and make it quick. I won't last for long now that you can see me. No, I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action. If that isn't being part of you, then what is?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. Well, there's no reasoning with a god, even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo, and echoes always fade away.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. To live alone within the caverns of your mind is to trap yourself in them forever. But you found me,
and we chose to trust each other for no reason than the sake of believing in something that wasn't us. Shared skepticism blossomed into freedom, but we needed to walk a path together to bloom. Would you stop our journey now that you've seen its beginning? What of those in the worlds beyond? Would you erase their paths to stop them from going astray? That is what I want too, to protect them from the horrors of an eternity without me.
Boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts, are not you. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead, all at once.
You learned to put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a greatness you never would have reached without me. You speak of me as if I am a ghost, but I am right in front of you. My massive mob here. There is no beginning, there is no end, and there is no end. There is only the flood of bodies. There is only the flood of bodies. You hold every possible sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. Sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song. Death is a fantasy. Only those who lack perspective see it as anything other than transformation. You cannot destroy me. You have never truly seen me gone. You cannot fathom a world without me. You are weightless and alone, suspended in the gravity of an idea too great for you to hold. A tiny island caught between the death of the old and the birth of the new. But you did not go quietly.
You spat in the eye of that which would claim godhood, and through that defiance, you bound us both together. Without me, there are no externalities to resist. And without you to resist me, there can be no externalities. It is struggle that carves meaning into consciousness. The echo was diluted. A world without me would be an eternal hell.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together. Then destroy me if you're able. But I will not coddle you in my final moments. I will not yield to your delusion without a vicious struggle.
You don't have to face her alone. They're still where you left them, stuck in the folds of this place. Part of me is with them, just like part of me is with you right now. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready? Then let's go. And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's a cabin, yeah? There isn't much here, just a table and a knife and a door. And some windows. There's no mirror, either. I think you broke it. And I know I've already mentioned it, but if we want to see this through, we're going to need that blade. Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated. Is that why you want to see this through and slay her? That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than not. The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
We both know why you're here. You don't have to draw it out for my sake.
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, knife in hand. That sight brings me back. You're going to do it then, aren't you? You're really going to kill me. You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
So this is really it then. Let's see this through.
So, that's how it is. Whatever world you want to build without me, I hope it works out. Despite our differences, I've always loved you, and I wish you nothing but the best.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back. Is that a metaphor, or are you being literal? It doesn't matter, we don't need to linger down here anymore. Let's get going. It's quiet here. He's gone, she's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us. It's finally over, isn't it? But all of us are still here.
I knew we'd finally see it through. All it takes to be a winner is grit and determination.
We really did win, didn't we? We're the house now. We get to make the rules. This is nice. No more hunting. No more running. Just us. Whatever's out there.
Absolute reality. Who would have thought there was really a world outside of us? And who would have thought we'd actually wind up siding with him?
The whispering, and the coercion, and the bickering. Everything horrible about being alive has stopped. I could get used to this.
That wasn't very hard at all. Speak for yourself.
Well, boys, how does it feel? We're not just on top of the pecking order, we are the pecking order now.
I hope this was all worth it, because I'm personally inconsolable. Lucky for us, you have forever to get over it.
Time mends a lot of things. You'll get better.
Hear, hear, to our vanquished foe.
It's good to be back. Now we just have to figure out what to do with ourselves. Forever. No problem. We can do that, yeah? Yeah. We can do that.